to Aseres Teshuva and Erev Yom Kippurim. We finished some of the inyanim of Rosh Hashanah. Now we're moving on to the next stage of our Gavaldige calendar, and that is going to be Aseres Teshuva, followed by Halachos Yom Kippurim, Ba'Ba Oleinu L'Toiva, and then after that we're going to move on to Halachos Daled Minim, Halachos Sukkah, and Be'ezras Hashem, if we get time, Halachos Chol HaMoed and Halachos Yom Tov as well, Be'ezras Hashem. So we'll start like this. The Shulchan Aruch talks by Riechens and Simon, Tov Reish Gimel, the Inyan, for a person to be more machmir on various things during Aseres Teshuva than he would be throughout the year, which is interesting. What are we trying to accomplish? What are we trying to do? We're trying to fake it. Oh, it's between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, so we're going to be extra careful. So we're going to pretend to be someone that we're not, so that hopefully we get a good judgment. Of course, it's all based on the idea of the Gemara and the Rambam that talks about the idea that if a Beinani, sort of his din waits between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur to see where he's holding. Does he have more mitzvahs? Does he have more averis? Then maybe that's the reason why people do more mitzvahs and they're oisik and more yonei chesed at the time between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But really, what's the point? What are we trying to accomplish by being more machmeh? Mishmur brings on various chumras that if a person doesn't keep during the year, Aseres Teshuva, a person should try to make sure that he does those things. Who are we trying to fool? What's the point? We're trying to fake and be someone that we're not between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and then we know what happens after Yom Kippur, right? We go back to normality. So what is the whole point over here? So there are many, many reasons, and maybe perhaps we should talk about this in its own inyan, in its own idea, maybe when we talk about Inyane Drush and everything else. But one of the reasons is because we know that Aseres Teshuva is the time that the Rabbeinu Shalom and Melech Basada, the Heilige Balatanya, and others as well. The Melech is here, the king is right in front of us. So when the king is in front of you, you act different. You don't act the same, come on. When the king is in front of you, you act differently. Mimela, the king is right here. It's between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It's Aseres Teshuva. These are the times. Yaris Vash Mishnah Berurah brings that the first few days of the week that we have of the year is Masakin for every single day that we have of the Ganze Yor. So Memela, if that's the case, that the king is here, we're more makbit. That's all. Nothing to do with trying to fake anything. We're not trying to be someone that we're not. The king is in front of us. I thought he's always in front of us. But upon him now we feel it much more, which is the reason why we try to be more machmeh. Another reason is also Ba'asheu Husham. We know that we get judged according to who we are right now. And therefore, could be last year we didn't do those things. Could be next year we're also not going to do those things. But right now when we're being judged, which is specifically for most people, Beinanim, between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, Memela we want to make sure, Ba'asheu Husham, that Sham is choshev. Memela we're trying to be makbid on things that maybe perhaps we're not always makbid on. Maybe perhaps we're going to makabel things on ourselves that we're not always makabel on ourselves. And we know we're not going to take it on for the Ganze Yor, but at least for the days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we can do that, and therefore there's no problem whatsoever. Now let's move on to Rabbi Isai. The Gavaldige minig of doing kapparas. The minig of doing kapparas, the Ramah brings down Tov Shehei, that if a person should take kapparas, even though the Shulchan Aruch says you should not use chickens, right? So the Shulchan Aruch says it brings the Tshuvas HaRashba that a person should not use chickens in that case. The Ramah says that avada we do. We take chickens and we give those chickens to the Aniyim, and that should be a kapara, and that's the minig. The Beis Yosef brings the B'Shem the Tashbetz, that also the Shla Kodesh as well. That's our minig, and that's what we do with chickens. There are those that have a minig to do it through money, whatever your minig is. Avada, you can do that. Now, where does the minig come from that you use chickens? What's the point of using chickens? Reason number one, it was the most common animal that they found in those days. Everybody had chickens in those days, right? Everybody lived on a farm or in some kind of field, and the everybody had chickens, and that's the case. It was an easy thing for them to do. The Kaf HaChaim brings another reason. The Kaf HaChaim says the chicken is called a gever, and a human being, a man, is called a gever. Memela, gever to gever. We're trying to be chaper on our averis. We're trying to switch our averis out from us onto the chicken. Now the idea is a male uses a male chicken, a female uses a female chicken. There's a shaila on a pregnant woman. Should she take two chickens, one male and one female? And this way, in case it's a boy, at least you have the male covered. Or according to many, she should actually take three chickens because you don't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl. So she takes a male and a female in case it's a boy or a girl. And then obviously for herself, she takes a female in that case. Of course, if she can't afford it, there's a definitely mokum to be makel to take one. Maisa, by the way, should not be used. A person should not be using maisa money for kapparas, just like we don't use maisa money for anything that we be'etzem have to do, and that's what we should be doing. We don't patter ourselves by using maisa money. The best time of doing kapparas is Erev Yom Tov, before Slichas, after before Alois, after Slichas. That's the best time. Erev Yom Kippur, before Alois, after Slichas. That's what the Shlach Kodesh says. That's what the Mishnah Berurah brings. That is the best time. In that case, of course, for many people that's going to be difficult. Where are you going to find them? Which is why, especially here in Yeshiva, we try to go a day or two before Yom Kippur to make sure that we could do it. Probably we'll go this year either Wednesday night or Thursday night, whatever it is that we'll do. We go together, and that's Gavaldik. The Kitzur Shlomo brings down that the kavana is when I'm doing the kapparas is that really this should be me. But Lamaisa, I'm switching all my din onto the chicken, like the Sar Azazel, like the Talmud Dvorah brings in Midah 9, the idea of switching over my Averas to something else. It's a very, very big yesod in that case. By the way, Shulchan Aruch and Yeridei, just a note, if you happen to go to a place where they're doing shechita right after the kapparas, and you're waiting in line for the shaychet to, in time for him to do shechita on your chicken that you did kapparas, Shulchan Aruch says be very careful, the Kaf HaChaim spells it out also, that be very careful to make sure that you don't face the chicken towards the shechita, right? Tzab L'chaim, said the Kaf HaChaim, for the chicken to see other chickens being shechted. So make sure you turn it away. And of course, if you're doing Kisei Adam, that's a Gavaldiga Brocha, it's a Gavaldiga Mitzvah that you can do in that case. The only question is, what happens if it was found to be treif? Not that many of us wait around enough to find out if it was or not treif, but if it was treif, there are those that say you have to do it again in that case. The chicken is generally given to an oni, because that's also Mekayim, also Gavaldiga Chesed of giving him a Suda as well. Let's move on to Rabbi Isai. Eating on Erev Yom Kippur, let's remember, and let's put this into perspective. People spend hours and hours, or depending on what size your payers are, maybe you'll spend months and months from Hanukkah already looking for, forget about Esrogim, Hadassim, Halavai. We can find kosher Hadassim from Hanukkah, maybe, Efsha. We'll have a chance to find one Hadas that's actually kosher. Right? People spend hours and hours and weeks and everything else. Rav Sheshiva Rav Shaimak used to tell people, we'll get to it, we talk about Daled Minim. He used to say, you know what, go out, buy a kosher Daled Minim. Quit the first one that you find that's kosher, that's fine. And then come to me on Sukkot, you'll shake mine. Because Bittul Torah is also a Shayla V'Daraisa, and it's also a very Choma Avera, and looking for the Daled Minim is also, it's a beautiful thing, but don't take it out of proportion. Al Koponim, you got people spend hours and hours in Daled Minim. And it's Mayudik, you look at Yisod V'Shayish Voida, what he writes about looking for Daled Minim, the Arizah with the Shvitz, okay, very nice. Obel Maisa, let's remember something. It's a Daraisa one day. One day, not putting that down, that's Moedik. One day of a Daraisa, Kavaldik. Well, so is eating on Erev Yom Kippur also a Do'oraisa the entire day. How many people spend time before Yom Kippur scheduling out their day? Okay, when am I eating? How am I eating? What am I buying to eat? How's it going to work? We spend weeks and weeks and money like, whoa, on Daled Minim. Eating an Erev Yom Kippur, say no, but eat something, whatever it is. All of a sudden, by the way, I'm not so hungry. You know how the Yitzhara goes. I'm not so hungry. I'm fine. I'm good. For some reason, Erev Yom Kippur, nobody's hungry. The Yitzhara is chapping around because he knows it's a mitzvah d'oraisa. It's an unbelievable thing. We should think about it. It's a mitzvah d'oraisa. Think about it before. How am I going to make the mitzvah? With what? What should I buy? What should I have ready? What time? How's it going to work? Moedik. So far in Yeshiva, we have two sudas, but still, yourself, you can go out and buy something. Makayim, a mitzvah d'oraisa, behidu gomu. Now, mitzvah like this. Why is it a mitzvah d'oraisa? So again, it comes all, of course, from the Pasuk. Very clearly, the Pasuk brings down, the Gemara Yuma Pehei brings us as well. It tells us you fast on the 9th. How do you fast on the 9th? It's really the 10th. The answer is that when you eat on Erev Yom HaKippurim, it says if you fasted on the 9th and the 10th, B'kaim the Lashon of the Heilige Pasuk. What's the reason why the Torah wants us, as Darshan Chazal, to fast on Erev Yom HaKippurim? So the reason number one, Gemara Brachos Daf Ches, the Torah brings it down, it's easy to fast, Pasha. It's a very simple Heitzah. We want to make sure the Olam fast well, but mainly eat on Erev Yom Kippur to make sure that you fast. Rabbeinu Yonah brings another reason. Rabbeinu Yonah says the reason is it's a din of the Suda. We know that on Yom Kippur, Avada we can't eat. Memela, we should be having a Gavaldiga Suda. This year, Shabbos Kodesh, that's a whole different Inyan. But Akaponi Rabbeinu Yonah says that the eating on Erev Yom Kippur is the Sudas Yontef that you can't do on Yom Kippur itself, so you have it on Erev. That's a Gavaldiga Zach. There are many, the Shlach Kodesh brings down, Magen Avraham brings it as well, that the mitzvah already starts from the night before. But most hold that it starts from the morning, from the day, which is why people get up early, apart from the fact of Erev Yom Kippur, they want to do slichas and everything else, but also to B'kaim the mitzvah, b'zrizas chaparain, the gavaldige mitzvah. In fact, the Mishnah Berurah says an interesting thing, we don't find this too often. Mishnah Berurah says, I know that you want to learn tons on Erev Yom Kippur. You want to sit the whole day and you want to learn, right? Because the next day in Kippur, you're busy davening, so you haven't got so much time to learn. So the Mishnah Berurah says, I know you want to do that. Learn less. First psak from the Mishnah Berurah. You have it. You haven't heard it here first. Mishnah Berurah says, learn less on Erev Yom Kippur because you're pushed busy eating. You're being mekayim a mitzvah. Right? Talmud Mevi L'Dei Ma'isa Zoshtek the Gemara in Kedushin, which means I want to mekayim the mitzvah, not just learn about it. And that's the reason why a person should be learning less. By the way, drinking is included in the mitzvah. You do not have to wash, although, yes, many have a minhag to have 2 sudas, but you don't have to have bread in order to mekayim this mitzvah. Many minhagim to eat fish. Also, you need pashtus and kizayis. Eating candy, sucking candy will pashtus not work. I asked Rav Sheinberg Zatzal, and he told me that sucking candy will not be mekayim the mitzvah in this case. So, boys, let's just quickly finish off with 2 last things for Erev Yom Kippur, and that is tefillah. Right? Versteht sich, the oilam goes to mikveh a lot, but just in case there's someone out there that never goes to mikveh, Avada the Torah brings down the minhag is to go to mikveh. And Erev Yom Kippurim, the Be'alocha, the Heilige Chofetz Chaim, Schus Yugen Aleni says, even if you never go, now Avada you go. Erev Yom Kippur, that's a dova poshet ad ma'od. The best, says the Taz, is after Chatzois, but Lemaisa, in Mashman Shulchan Aruch, and that Tashbet's also passing this way, the whole day also works. So if for whatever reason you don't want to go after Chatzois, might be a little bit busy, so then you can go before Chatzois, you can already go from the morning. By the way, they asked Rav Elyashiv if taking a shower, Tisha Kabim, doesn't work for Erev Yom Kippur. You need to mamish go into the mikveh. Many are makbid on Chatzitzas. Maybe during the year, Erev Shabbos Kodesh, they're not makbid. During the week, they're not makbid. Could be. But Erev Yom Kippur, the oilam is makbid to make sure they don't have any Chatzitzas, whatever that may be, whether they've got a band-aid on or whatever it may be, that could be a Chatzitza. And in that case, after Tefillah on Erev Yom Kippur, you wear your Shabbos clothing in order to daven Mincha with your Shabbos clothing. Right? Mincha, as we know, on Erev Yom Kippur is a choshev Tefillah. We say Vidoi on Erev Yom Kippur by Mincha. Remember, Vidoi is a mitzvah asay. A mitzvah asay to do Vidoi on Yom Kippurim, right? And therefore, it's very important that when you do video, you don't lean on anything. You're not meant to be sitting. You can't lean on your stender in a way that if they took away the stender, then you would fall. You can lean on it a little bit, you can hold it, that's fine. But lean on it in a way that your whole body rest is on there, that's a problem. Could be a not yotze vidoi in that case. Chazal were masakin to do vidoi on Erev Yom Kippurim before the Suda Mavsekes, before the last Suda that we eat right before the fast begins, for 2 reasons. The Gemara tells us in Yuma, maybe somebody will choke, right, will go down the wrong pipe, and he will choke, chas v'shalom, and therefore he won't have the opportunity to do tshuva, he won't have the opportunity to do vidoi. That's reason number 1. The Ramban tells us the reason is a person may get drunk from the Suda in that case. We heard a little bit about it yesterday by the Sidas Bris. Al Kaponim, the din of vidoi is very, very important. We'll just end with one last halacha, what the Gemara tells us in Yuma Pehei on base. The Gemara tells us, and the Rambam paskins this way, halacha lamaisa and hilchos tshuva peik base, that if a person did something to somebody else, ben odom lechaveiroi halachos, but you could do tshuva from today until tomorrow, you could do video until today, tomorrow, it's not going to help you. Avada, you need to for the ben odom lemokim chelek. But for the ben odom lechaveiroi chelek, it's not going to help you. You need to ask people mechila. Does not mean posting on your status is not included. It doesn't work. Posting on your status, I hope everyone's moichel me. That doesn't work. It's very cute. I don't think it works. It means going over to someone really, honestly, and saying, could be you're my roommate, you're my chavrusa, whatever it is, we're in close contact, and we know that unfortunately the people that we're in most close contact are the people we unfortunately hurt the most, even though it shouldn't be that way, it is that way. Therefore, we should really go to people that we're close to the whole year, say, listen, could be I did something, I don't even remember what it was, I want to ask mechila, and the other guy should think about it, and you should think about it when someone asks you. It's not a joke, it's not running around moichel, it's an emes gazach. You want to walk into Yom Kippur, b'kedusha v'tahara. The way to do that is to ask mechila, and also, as the Rambam said, don't be achzari, make sure, don't be cruel, be moichel other people as well. And as Rav Sheinberg Zatzal always used to tell us, make sure you come into Yom Kippur with enough time that you could say the Tefillah Zakah, right, which is before Kol Nidrei. Before Kol Nidrei is a beautiful Tefillah. Tefillah Zakah, I don't have to tell you, look up in the art scroll, the words are absolutely oim v'noira. It's so important, and he says sometimes people don't realize the chashivas of it, because you're being moichel people. You're saying things over there that are unbelievable. It's an opportunity to be moichel everyone, and midah keneged midah. If we are moichel other people, then be'ez Hashem, the Rebbeinu Shalom will be moichel us. Join us tomorrow for a brand new sugya. Have a wonderful day.